I'm not bullish on California, and that ain't me. I've talked to some very smart people who are economic animals, and all of them agree, and all of them are looking to get out because it's too expensive. Why? I live on Skid Row, basically. I'm in Venice. I've been in Venice for 25 years. I love it, but I don't recognize my town anymore as much. And
it's gotten really bad over there, right?
It's not just gotten very bad, it's become profitable because developers now can get these government contracts. I mean, I can build you a bunch of apartments for $200 million on prime real estate, on a parking lot, on the beach if you'd like. I'd be happy to do that. And we can create a homeless apartments for people who are homeless. And don't worry about doing drugs or anything else. We're not going to put any of those restrictions on you. You can come and go as you like. So there is something that, this is not me, but a scholar I had a long conversation with called the homeless industrial complex. Once there's money in bidding and getting homeless shelters for big developers, you better be careful.
All right, we talked about New York City.
Yeah.
We talked about Afghanistan. Seems like the segue to where we're at right now in California.
Yeah.
What do you make about what's going on with this state? We talked about it about a month ago on your show.
Yeah.
I was strongly considering leaving. Like, I was looking at real estate. I had a whole bunch of people begging me to come to Dallas. I would have had a pretty sweet operation over there.
Yeah.
My feeling right now is I want to stay and fight here.
I love that.
I love SoCal. I love the weather, of course, and all that. But like, I've built a good life here. We've got friends. I like it here. It's a freaking mess. Yeah. Absolute mess. I think you're in a bit of a similar situation.
I am, and I didn't think about staying and fighting until I spoke to you, and I haven't stopped thinking about that. And I think you're right. I was just in Austin looking at property, and boy, does that.
No, I know. I told you, we're probably looking at the same houses. I'm on Truly. You're like, man, what I could get in Austin compared to
the amount of money I can save. It's cheaper to live. It's that I don't pay that 13% tax or whatever it is, or 18%. So yeah, I could save a lot of money. And what's happening in California, it seems, is businesses are leaving for just that reason, because it's very expensive to do business here. What California has going for it is a very diversified economy and amazing weather. And it's just a huge, important state for a lot of reasons. But California was the state that worked. And we have a Democratic supermajority. And if you look at local politics, it's just anytime you have a supermajority of any group, I don't care if it's Republican or Democrat, I don't think that's good for democracy. Your vote, if you are someone who leans even a little bit right, doesn't count. Yep. Save it, stay home, we don't care. And you aren't getting elected to local office. You're not getting elected to government office. You're not, unless you are pro-big union across the board. Good luck. Good luck otherwise. And I'm a member of a union. I'm in SAG. So I understand the value of unions, but it's expensive to do business. And unless you can push back a little bit or come up with a compromise, I'm not bullish on California. And that ain't me. I've talked to some very smart people who are economic animals, and all of them agree. And all of them are looking to get out because it's too expensive. Why? I live on Skid Row, basically. I'm in Venice. I've been in Venice for 25 years. I love it, but I don't recognize my town anymore as much. And
it's gotten really bad over there, right?
It's not just gotten very bad; it's become profitable because developers now can get these government contracts. I mean, I can build you a bunch of apartments for $200 million on prime real estate, on a parking lot, on the beach if you'd like. I'd be happy to do that. And we can create a homeless apartments for people who are homeless. And don't worry about doing drugs or anything else. We're not going to put any of those restrictions on you. You can come and go as you like. So there is something that this is not me, but a scholar I had a long conversation with called the homeless industrial complex. Once there's money in bidding and getting homeless shelters for big developers, you better be careful. So these people need to be put in treatment. The majority of the people on the street is not a housing problem. It's not a housing problem. It's not a housing problem. It is a mental health and addiction problem. And until we get serious about that, we're going to be in big trouble.
Is it weird to you watching it spread in different areas? So Venice always had a certain amount of that. Now it's definitely more. But like Hollywood, which also always had a certain amount, it's like kind of taken over Hollywood. If you just go to straight up, especially now where there aren't as many other people on the streets.
Yeah.
Now it just seems like all there are, kind of like transient people and homeless and tents and...
Well,
and as that inches closer to West Hollywood, now it'll inch closer to Beverly Hills, and that then is when it gets pushed. The other way, right?
They have their own police force, but Prop 47, and you can't. It's not criminalized. They're all these. I voted for Prop 47 because the way it was phrased, and it had the again on the ballot. As I'm voting, I went, well, this makes sense. I don't want kids to be in a revolving door of crime, and police chiefs back it. And
Callen, did you read the whole thing?
I didn't.
That's it.
I didn't have time. I'm remiss.
But that's how they get you in this state, I think, more than any other. During the last election, there was this one thing on the ballot about, do you want to, it was something like this, do you want to put $500 million into education for, blah, 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 blah. And then there's essay, just a giant crazy essay on the whole thing, and I skipped all the way to the bottom, and on the bottom it says this can only be repealed or reversed by popular vote. But nobody ever says, okay, now we'll take the money from the kids.
Yeah.
But that's government 101.
That's right.
We sell it, exactly, the packaging thing you're talking about.
It'll never go away.
Nobody reads the fine print, and then you throw it back on the people to be like, oh, you'll have to take care of this.
Deal with this. There's always blowback. There's always a ripple effect.
Yeah.
You bet. No matter what the intentions are. We've spent something like $3 trillion on programs for the poor. How's that going? How's it going? It's very difficult. I think at the end of the day, it's not about right or left. You got to ask yourself, do you really think that a bloated bureaucracy called the federal government is the first line of defense? Is that the best way to solve these problems? Is it? I don't think so. Is government going to keep families intact? Is a government official or a bureaucrat who studies family law or whatever going to keep your family intact? Are they gonna get you to take care of your kids? Are they gonna get you the skill set you need in the 21st century, the ever-changing 21st century? It's a question.
Yeah.
Maybe the answer is yes in some cases, but I don't know if that's always the answer. And you got to ask those questions. The problem we run into is we go, well, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat, I'm left, I'm right. No, hold on. Let's go into what percentage of your money do you want to give the government every year? Every day. I pay something like 52% in taxes. So half my day, half my year is working for someone else. Half my day, half my year is working for someone else. So how much more do you want from me?
If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about comedy instead of the nonstop yelling you get everywhere else, check out our comedy playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, check out our full episode playlist. They're both right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.